Well, good afternoon, fans, and welcome to the Aquatics and Recreation Center on the campus of Armstrong State University for the 2014 Peach Belt Conference Volleyball Tournament Final. Chad Jackson with Ken Grillinger to bring you the action today. And Ken, we talked about this yesterday in our semifinals. The cast has not changed, but the plot has. You have Flagler and Armstrong in the tournament for the fourth time in the last 5 years, but it's a much different situation than it was in any of those previous matchups.
Yeah, and in those previous matches, you're talking about two very evenly matched teams throughout the entire course of those seasons. And but this year, we're talking about a Flagler team that's really in a rebuilding process. New head coach, new system. They've had their struggles, certainly at times, but it's been an evolution for them. Now they're playing their best volleyball of the year. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Armstrong, a perennial favorite, again, nationally ranked, near the top of the region, regular season champions. The Pirates have done what they have been doing for the past 6 or 7 years, which is being the elite team of the Peach Belt Conference. So you're right, the names may be familiar, but the circumstances are totally different.
Armstrong comes in having lost just one game in the conference over the last 2 years. They are undefeated on their home court over the last 2 years, and they come in as the #1 seed, and they face a Flagler team that is the first 7 seed, not only to make the championship match, but even to win a game in the Peach Bowl Conference Tournament. They upset USC Aiken for the second time in 9 days in the first round on Tuesday, and then came here yesterday after a very even first set against Lander, the 6th seed, really flexed its muscle the last 3 sets.
Yeah, talking about Flagler, and we talked to head coach Matt Affolter after the match even. We mentioned about the errors. We saw through the course of the semifinal against Lander yesterday, it was really how Flagler either killed or committed errors that either kept Lander in or put Lander out of the game. When Flagler was committing a lot of errors, Lander won that first set. But when Flagler plays well, keeps their errors down, they actually, in essence, more or less dominated the rest of that match. They drove the action for the entire match. They won the second set by 10, and really, towards the end, beat Lander down enough to be able to run away with it. Conversely, we saw Armstrong come out yesterday and play a nearly flawless match.
Yeah, Emily Wiley was the hitting star in the first set. Once Montevallo tried to adjust to her, it was the Stephanie Safara show. The MVP of this tournament last year had 2 amazing sets to lead the Pirates to the 3-set win. And the Pirates as a team at 387. Safari hit 600 and Emily Wiley at 556. Very efficient for the Pirates in a second straight semifinal against Montevallo.
Yeah, they were, like I said, nearly perfect. Between those two, he had 28 kills and only 3 errors. Safara, no errors with 15 kills yesterday. It's almost unheard of.
And in the other matchup, it was very evenly distributed. You had Amelia Morgan with 65 assists. That's the second most assists in the nation in a 4-set match. 5 different players in double figures for Flagler, in double figure kills, for Flagler, led by Janelle Sturgeon with 17. Sarah Davis, though, 16 kills, hitting .414. The freshman of the year did not disappoint.
Yeah, she did not disappoint. She really came through there. We also saw Taja Valmir play a really heck of a game. She had 13 kills, 25 digs, although she did make 9 attack errors yesterday, did Valmir. She's one of those players that's kind of a wild card for you to talk about Flagler. If she could keep her errors down and pull out the same kind of performance, especially defensively, then Flagler really is going to have a shot at doing well in this match. Of course, Armstrong swept the 2 regular season matches against Flagler, both 3-0 decisions, but again, those are weeks ago, the last time they met.
Yeah, the first matchup was very, very early in the season. It was October 3rd in Flagler, 3-0 win for Armstrong. The last meeting was November 1st, but several players for Flagler did not play in that match. That was a matchup that was really punctuated by a 25-5 first set win by the Pirates, but it was not the full lineup. This will be the first time that Armstrong has faced this late season lineup for head coach Matt Affolter that has played very well down the stretch.
Yeah, Flagler, we mentioned they have so many weapons. That could be a real cause of concern for Armstrong. Who are you going to defend on the front? We saw the Armstrong front have an outstanding game, not only offensively but defensively, with Wiley, Permander, other players like that getting to blocks and really causing problems for the attack of Montevallo yesterday. So they're going to have to do that again. But again, they're going to have to guard a lot more weapons that Flagler has.
Flagler, we talked about the times these two teams have met. The rivalry, so to speak, started in 2009. Flagler beat Armstrong in 3. Then 2010 was on this floor here in the tournament. Flagler defeated Armstrong in 3, and then Flagler won in 4 in 2011. Armstrong went down to St. Augustine in 2012 and beat the Saints in 5. That was a thrilling match that went right down to the wire. And then, of course, last year, Armstrong beating USC Aiken. We're going to pause for the national anthem and come back with the first set between the Pirates and the Saints.
Thank you for your continued support of Armstrong University Athletics, the NCAA, and the Peach Belt Conference.
Chad Jackson, Karen Garlinger back with you, getting set for the championship of the Peach Belt Conference Volleyball Tournament. Armstrong will be in its maroon uniforms today with black numbers and gold trim and sleeves. Flagler in its road black uniforms today, white numbers and white trim. And again, Flagler playing to extend its season, playing to get into the NCAA tournament. Armstrong will already be there. They want to win their 3rd straight Peach Belt Conference tournament title.
Yeah, but Armstrong also has something on the line. They need to win here to keep their name as a possible host alive, because we're paying attention to the South Atlantic Conference as well. If there should be a weird thing happen there, then Armstrong would be in a position to host it. But the Pirates lose this, and now all that hope is gone, I think.
So Cameron Sherman, the Peach Belt setter of the year, will begin the match serving for Armstrong. First serve is underway. Quick set to Hooks. Hooks cuts it. That's dug by Wiley. Set outside to Safara, and Safara will hit it long. And that will be the first point to Flagler.
Not surprising that Armstrong goes right to Stephanie Safara after the remarkable way she finished the match yesterday. I believe she had like the last 5 points in a row for the Pirates in the 3rd set to really close it out.
Megan Hooks with the serve for Flagler. Pirates on the attack quickly. This time they go to Wiley. And Emily Wiley, you see the right side hitter hitting from the left side. They wanted to show the Flagler blockers a different look after they had set outside to Safara. And that time Wiley, with that high angle, hits it off the top of the block in for the kill.
Yeah, when she gets up that high with that angle, it's nearly impossible to stop, because your dig angle is all wrong. You need to be closer in to try and get to it.
Safara serves, set to the middle for Valmir, and Valmir hits it wide. But they call a touch on the blockers, and that will be a kill for Valmir. And a Flagler 2-1 lead. Janelle Sturgeon checks into the front row.
Yeah, late call on that tip, but I think it was right at the net. But Valmir, again, got a little bit bailed out on that one.
And then Valmir hits the serve long. It was a float serve. I thought Morgan Hill was going to play it, but at the very last minute decided to let it go. And it dipped long, so we're tied at 2. The Pirates libero Morgan Hill with a very deep serve. That is right on the line and good for a service ace. Valmir looked at Amber Peony, and either of them thought the other was going to pass that ball.
I thought the decision was they thought it was going to go long, and they both decided to let it go, but great serve that time, caught the back line.
And a very short serve this time for Hill. Morgan sets the middle. The attack by Davis is dug by Sherman, and then Emily Wiley with the kill. It's dug, but it's dug all the way into the Armstrong bench across the court. And again, that's the power of the sophomore right side here, Emily Wiley.
She just hits it that hard, cross her body, bringing it down from left to right, and she can just pound the ball. There's really nothing the defender can do in that situation.
Another very short serve from Hill. Sturgeon with the attack. That's dug by Hill. And Pirates are going to play it over on a free ball. The pass was real close to the net. And then Davis's attack is played over by Wiley, and then it's hit out by Taylor Parmenter. So a big opportunity there for the Pirates on the overpass, but Parmenter hits it long. As you might expect in a championship match, a little bit of nerves, I think, for both teams here. Davis to serve for Flagler, and that is wide. So 2 service errors for Flagler. And we talked about yesterday in Flagler's matchup against Lander not giving a team that doesn't make mistakes free points.
Yeah, Lander came with a reputation of committing very few errors. Armstrong's got that same kind of reputation. Again, perfectly illustrated yesterday in the semifinal. Don't make a lot of mistakes, and you give them free points. It just makes your task that much tougher.
Kayla Burns into the match to serve for the Pirates. Not a good pass. Morgan sets high outside for Sturgeon. Her tip is dug by Kayla Burns, and then Cameron Sherman senses that the deep corner was open, and she gets the kill.
Yeah, Cameron Sherman, we saw her do that only twice yesterday. She really is very selective about when she chooses to attack, which makes her that much more effective when she does.
Kayla Burns will serve again at 6-3. Again, Morgan has to set from behind the 10-foot line. Sturgeon, though, splits the block. Nice play by the Pirates to keep it alive. Scramble point. Now Sturgeon a second crack at it. Her tip is dug by Burns. Push set outside. The tip by McGee is dug by Chiwa. Back row attack for Valmir. That's dug by Hill. McGee a second swing, and this one is a kill because there's a blocking error on the play on Flagler. We saw Flagler scramble and get points, and this time Armstrong comes up with a scramble point, and it's 7-3.
That's dangerous territory right now for Flagler. You don't want to let this lead get any further than this, because Armstrong, again, is going to be very difficult to catch up to.
Float serve again from Burns. Better pass this time, and she was attacked. Will fall for the kill. Everything offensively happens with that good first pass, and that was the only time in Burns' service where Flagler got a good pass to the setter.
That's exactly right. We've seen Flagler struggle a little bit with their passing so far early on in this match.
Sherman will attack it herself. It's dug by Morgan. Bump set to Hooks, and Hooks will get the kill. It was a good decision by Sherman to attack, but credit Amelia Morgan for being right in position to dig that ball. So Morgan will serve it again for Flagler. Sherman this time will set high outside for McGee. That's dug by Valmir. It's over to the Pirate side of the court. Another dig by Valmir, played over by Chiwa, but Safara gets the dig. McGee gets the kill. Another dig by Valmir. Then Sturgeon with the tip, and that's good for the kill. Tell you what, Valmir's been very impressive with her defense, and it's all athleticism.
Yeah,
from
it is. Just instinct. She's reacting.
Yep.
The reflex is incredible on her part.
So now it's 7-6. Morgan continues to serve. Pirates are going to have to try and find some place away from her as she'll get the dig, but it came off the touch of the block, so she had to pass that higher than she wanted to. She had to get that ball. Parmenter gets the kill, and it's a side out for Armstrong.
So after Flagler had trimmed the lead down to 1, another point by Armstrong. But Flagler, it behooves them to just hang around. Keep it within distance. Don't let the Pirates run away with it.
Bump set outside to Hooks, and she is blocked. It's still alive, though, for the Saints. Hooks a second crack at it. That's dug by Safara. Set outside to Safara, Brody had the dig, Safara had the attack, but Flagler gets a big block with Ashley Chiwa and Janelle Sturgeon.
Yeah, Matt Alfolder, we see him. He's nearly on the court almost after every point that Flagler wins. He's really got his team believing they can do this.
Safara, no hitting errors in yesterday's semifinal, 2 already here in the first set for the Pirates. Bump set from Sherman to Safara. That's blocked, kept alive by Flagler. Bump set to Valmir, and then Valmir hits it down the line for the kill.
Yeah, we've seen, I think, a lot more energy. The initial nerves, I think, have kind of burned off a little bit on Flagler's part.
5 of the last 6 points scored by the Saints. We're tied at 8. Ashley Lecledner-Rodriguez with the serve, and that is long. So it's 3 service errors for Flagler, or else this scoreline might be much different here in the first set.
Exactly right. Yeah, those errors, in its essence, are kind of keeping Armstrong in it. Pirates have not looked particularly sharp here in the early going.
And that serve is out. Yeah, Armstrong hitting just 133. Flagler is hitting 312. Again, the Pirates were the top hitting team in the Peach Bowl Conference, ranked 4th in the nation coming into the tournament. Pirates attack it with Thompson, and Thompson hits it wide. And Flagler takes a 10-9 lead. Sherman sets Thompson. This time Thompson will get the kill.
That was almost no way that could not be a kill. That set was so perfect, the little short set. Perfect position right over the top of the net. Thompson, of course, with their great height and great leaping abilities, right on top of it. There's really no way that was not going to go down for Armstrong.
So we've played 1 full rotation, and we're tied at 10. Valmir with the attack. That's dug by Brody. Now Wiley with a big swing, and that's going to be a kill. And Emily Wiley may be the difference in this match because she checks into the front row. They immediately go right to her, and she comes up with a kill.
She hits it about as hard as anybody in our entire conference, and it's just amazing to see sometimes. Oh, bad one.
And a down ball will result in a kill because the Pirates are into the net when they really didn't need to. The bump set was off the court.
Unfortunately, the set was so bad that it fooled Armstrong. And so when the ball came back over, none of the Pirates were in position.
So we're tied at 11. Hooks with the serve, and that is wide. So all kinds.
On both sides, if it weren't for these silly errors.
Yeah. 4 service errors for Flagler.
Armstrong, number 9, Anna McGee.
And Stephanie Safara will now serve it for the Pirates. And that is played. Overpass, though, and it's blocked, and the Flagler's going to have the point out of it.
Yeah, it was like Rachel Thompson that time. A little ahead of the game, she hit it, but hit it into the net on her own side, and then there was nothing else that could be done with it.
So we're tied at 12. And Valmir back to serve for Flagler. Again, the freshman from Green Cove Springs, Florida. Very short serve played by Wiley. One-handed set. Dug, though, by Peony, The dig by Hill is over, and then Hooks hits it long.
Point Armstrong.
13-12 Pirates lead. And that was a big one-handed set by Sherman just to keep that play alive.
Yeah, really.
And then Hill serves it long. 13 all. Set number 1 between Flagler and Armstrong. Sarah Davis with the serve. It's a deep serve but playable. Wiley on the slide. It's blocked. Played over. And then attacking the net was Sturgeon, and she went into the net on the overpass, so the Pirates dodge a bullet there.
Yeah, kind of very unlucky break that time for Flagler because Sturgeon had the right idea. It was the right instinct to attack that ball, and the space was there. She just got too far forward.
Kayla Burns to serve. This is where the Pirates got onto that run early in this set on the serve of Burns. From off the court, this is going to be a tough play to keep it alive, and Chiwa can't do it. So another tough serve for Kayla Burns. it results in a point for the Pirates.
Yeah, that first serve, I mean, it's so difficult the way she does it. It's so difficult for Flagler to get set and try to pass effectively.
15-13 Armstrong. Burns again with the serve. Better pass this time. Morgan sets high outside. Sturgeon's attack is dug by Safara, played over by McGee, dug by Valmir. Sturgeon, a second crack at it, dug by Safara. And then a big block by Ashley Chiwa on Taylor Permenter. Second team block for Flagler, and a side out for the Saints. Amelia Morgan, the setter, serving. McGee off the block for the kill, and Anna McGee has her second kill, of the match.
Going into the game for Armstrong, number 2, Kim Brody.
I think you're seeing the defenses kind of ahead of the game right now here in the first set. Neither team hitting very well offensively from a percentage standpoint, but they're staying in points. Down ball from Safara will be a kill, and Stephanie Safara from the 10-foot line just puts it deep, and the Kovac was on the ground. I think she was expecting that ball to go somewhere else.
Yeah, but it was Kayla Burns who won that point for Armstrong. That great dig to keep that one alive on the other side.
Very short serve. Morgan will set outside for hooks, and another big block, but it's out of bounds, and so the kill for hooks will earn the side out for Flagler. Leckledner Rodriguez to serve for Flagler. Back and forth we go. Very tight first set.
Yeah, a lot of side outs too. You know, not any team is getting the ability to exploit a strong rotation.
And Safara splits the block. It's dug by Sturgeon, and we're going to by Kovac, and a double contact called on Morgan. That wasn't whistled right away, but you could hear the crowd reaction to that set.
The way Morgan had to slide under the ball and try to arc her shoulders to get a rotating on it, it was pretty obvious that was a double hit.
Morgan sets the tip for hooks, and that's a great play by Megan Hooks. Everyone was cheating towards Chiwa, and so Hooks able to read it well and tip it over the block for the kill. 18-16. Armstrong leads. Kovac serving. Sherman sets Safara. Her tip well read by Morgan. Bump set's going to go outside to Hooks, and her tip is blocked easily by Safara. That time you saw the difference because Morgan had to dig the initial contact. It had to come from someone else to the outside.
Yeah, it was up to Kovac, and I didn't think she wanted to do it, but she had to try and set that one on the bump, and it was just too far over the net.
And Sherman hits it wide on her serve. 19-17. The teams have combined for 7 service errors in this set. Hooks to serve. Sherman will set Wiley on the slide, and that was an easy kill for Wiley. Valmir was slow to react to the attack by Wiley. She was not in proper positioning, and Wiley has 4 kills on 7 swings in this first set. 20-17, Safara serving. Morgan sets Davis, and Davis will get the kill. That is Sarah Davis's first kill of this set.
It's really surprising. They have not been able to find a way to get her involved in the offense after the great game she had yesterday against Lander.
So Valmir to serve. With Flagler down 2. Good serve by Valmir. It'll just be played over safely by McGee. Valmir from the back row. Dug by Hill, and then Rachel Thompson comes right back and gets the kill. One-on-one, middle hitter against middle hitter, sophomore against freshman. Thompson wins that battle.
But Flagler was kind of doomed at the beginning when Peony had to take the set because Morgan couldn't get back to the back row.
Morgan Hill serving for the Pirates. Amelia Morgan from the 10-foot line sets it to Sturgeon. That's read by Sherman. Bump set from the knees by Hill. Valmir with the dig on the attack. Now Sturgeon with a swing. That's dug by Safara. And then Emily Wiley gets the kill. Matt Affolter, head coach for Flagler, wants a double contact. It wasn't a textbook set from Sherman. She set it with her hands really parallel to or perpendicular to the net, but it was still a great set. Wiley gets the kill, and a timeout taken by Flagler with Armstrong leading at 22-18.
Yeah, Flagler's actually an outstanding job of keeping Armstrong in distance, but they have not been able to reach, tie, or get ahead. And now Armstrong only needs 3 more points to get out of this first set. And really, Flagler's played well. They played about as well as any.
Well, anyone that thought that going into this match it was going to be a 3-0 rollover, was sorely mistaken just by the way that Flagler has improved at the end of the season and the momentum they have built coming into this tournament.
Yeah, don't let that 7 seed fool you for a second about Flagler. They came to play today. I happened to hear Coach Matt Affolter yesterday after their semifinal match. I was going back there to get him for the interview, and he was talking to his team, and he kept using the word redemption.
Yep.
Redemption. I think they feel like that people don't give them any credit for being as good as they are. You mentioned the injuries they've had to deal with all year long, and really now they're back up to full strength. So they talk a lot about that, and that's the mindset that the team has coming into this championship match.
So out of the timeout, Armstrong leads at 22-18. And the Pirates will be serving with Morgan Hill, the co-libero of the year in the Peach Belt Conference. Hill with a good serve. Off the court, Morgan has to set it to back row for Valmir. That's dug by Safara. Push set outside to McGee, dug by Valmir. Set outside to Sturgeon, that's dug by McGee. McGee will get it back on the bump set and hit it long. And Valmir's defense continues to impress me, Ken. She now has 6 digs in this set, and again, it's Caitlin Kovac that had the big dig numbers throughout the season, as you would expect from a libero. Sherman sets Wiley, and Wiley through the triple block, or double block, gets the kill. There was a blocking error, but Emily Wiley, again, every time the Pirates have needed a big kill, they've gotten it from the sophomore.
The only downside is the number of side outs has not allowed Wiley. I mean, they go through her rotation very quickly.
Yep.
They would love to be able to hold serve while she's in her position on the front row. She's only in there for about half of the points. So she rotates out fairly quickly. There have been a lot of side outs so far in this first set.
Yeah, Wiley 6 kills on 9 swings. No other player more than 2 kills for the Pirates. And for Flagler, Megan Hooks has 3 kills. Taja Valmir has 3 kills. Sarah Davis, 1 kill, 2 errors. And honestly, if you would have told me those numbers, I would have said, well, Armstrong would have a bigger lead in this set.
Yeah, you think if you don't have Sarah Davis leading your offense, the Peach Belt Freshman of the Year, then how else are they going to get it? But we did talk about that Flagler does have a lot of weapons off front. Janelle Sturgeon, Talma Valier, Megan Hooks. I mean, these are players that can produce the kills. So they've not needed Sarah Davis so far, but they could use her now, down 4 with Flagler. With Armstrong at 23. So if they're going to find a way to get her involved, I don't think she's in the lineup though right now. So.
Yeah, Davis is out of the rotation now.
Yeah, so it's Chiwa and Sturgeon who are really going to have to be the focus here.
Yeah, because the setter Morgan's in the front row, and that is a service ace for Kayla Burns, and it was Valmir who had the reception error, and it is set point Armstrong. They go right back to Valmir. Better pass this time. Sturgeon with the tip and crossed up because both McGee and Burns were diving for that ball. And McGee, I think, was in a better position to make a pass on that, but Burns came and took it away from her. Unfortunately, put it out of bounds.
Yeah, Davis back in the lineup. I think this is Flagler's strongest set.
But Taylor Permenter comes right back, gets the kill, and earns the set 1 win for the Pirates. Armstrong wins at 25-20. We'll break for the first set, come back with set number 2 between Armstrong and Flagler. Jackson, King Gerlinger back with you here at the Aquatics and Recreation Center Peachbelt Conference Tournament Championship match, and the Pirates take set number 1, 25-20. Look at the first set statistics. Armstrong 14 kills, 7 errors, 36 attacks, a 194 hitting percentage. Flagler 10 kills, 3 errors, 34 attacks, 206 hitting percentage. But really, Ken, that key stat in the first set was that side-out percentage for Armstrong. 80%, only 4 points won by Flagler on its own serve.
Yeah, Flagler actually hit better than Armstrong did in that first set, 206 to 194. But you're right, Flagler only able to hold serve 4 times in the entire course of that first set.
And part of that were the 4 service errors that came again early on in that set. But as the set gets later and later, those missed opportunities, become larger and larger.
Exactly, when you're down by 5, and you think about the 4 service errors that you had. For Armstrong, they had 3 of their own, but they also had 3 aces to wash it out. So it's kind of a null effect when it comes right down to it.
Megan Hooks, Taja Valmir with 3.
Happy to have our international fans watching as well from all over the world. Sorry you couldn't be with us here in person, but glad you're here on Ustream with us today.
Absolutely.
For our championship match. Flagler was very game. Again, going back to something you said, anybody who thought this was going to be one of those 30-17, 30-18, 30-19 kind of matches is in for a bit of a surprise. Flagler could play. Now, can they come out and win a set against Armstrong? That's another question.
Well, again, that second set's so pivotal. If you win the second set, it's a brand new match. It's 1-1. But if you fall behind 2-0 on a team's home court, that's going to be very, very tough to come back from. Free ball over by Valmir. Pirates want to attack it quickly, and it was a miss set by Sherman. It's still alive, and then Safara hits it out. So, again, Flagler's defense keeping them in points, and they come up with the early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Flagler 2 blocks, 15 digs, although Armstrong actually outdug Flagler pretty significantly, 20-15 in the first set.
Safara with the attack, another dig, this time like Ledner Rodriguez, and then Valmir's attack is dug by Wiley. Safara's attack dug by Ledner Rodriguez, set outside to Valmir, and Valmir gets the kill. So a good start for Flagler here in set number 2. And that's 3 swings for Stephanie Safara, and she can't get the kill. She's hitting negative in this match. 1 kill, 2 errors. And a block by Valmir on Cameron Sherman. And a quick 3-0 lead.
Yeah, like I said, I'd praised Sherman earlier for not going to that surprise attack very often, but I think she's actually gone to it a little too much here. She did 3 times in the first set and then went to it again right there.
Pirates run the decoy. Safara's attack is blocked. She'll get a second crack at it, and this time it's blocked. And this is the problem with the second set rotation for Armstrong. They want Cameron Sherman to be the first server in the second set. So she's in the front row right now. There's only 2 attackers. And now Safara and Rachel Thompson both are not getting very good swings trying to get that side out. They do now, but that's 4 points that you figure if you start with this rotation, you get a side out, maybe first or second point, you get Sherman into the back row, then you got your 3 hitters in the front row. That's the danger sometimes, is if you can't get that first side out starting a set like that, you're really crippled by only having 2 hitters in the front row. Safara gets blocked again. That's 2 blocks for Flagler in this set, and it's 5-1.
I know Flagler was actually here in the gym after they had beaten Lander. They stayed to watch the Armstrong game against Montevallo, and they are really keying off of Stephanie Safara right now.
So 5-1, Flagler leading it. Hooks with the serve. Bump set outside to Safara. And this time Safara goes cross court. She altered her hit. She didn't go straight at to the double block. She went to the left of the, or the right of the double block. And it was just too hot for the libero Kovac to handle. And that's something she's going to have to do. Safara's going to have to adjust the way she is approaching hitting this double block of Flagler. Safara into the back row to serve. Morgan sets Davis, and Davis powers it through the double block of the Pirates.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the last set. We didn't hear much from Sarah Davis of Flagler, but she gets involved immediately at the beginning of this set, and Flagler is really, this is their biggest lead at any point in the match.
Valmir to serve for the Saints. Sherman sets the middle, and it's a touch. It was wide, but a touch is called, so Rachel Thompson gets the side out for Armstrong. And that will bring Morgan Hill, the libero, back to serve for the Pirates.
And Emily Wiley back into the lineup for Armstrong as well.
Deep serve from Hill. Morgan attacks herself, and Taylor Permenter really read the ball rather than the hitter, because she was in position to put up a block, but she was doing the path of the ball. It's almost like she didn't think that Morgan was going to attack that ball.
That's only the second attack Morgan has tried today.
Wiley from well off the court still gets enough on it, though, to get the kill, and Emily Wiley with another big kill, 7 for her in this match, but again, she rotates out. And Kayla Burns into serve.
So the question for Armstrong is, who else can you go to now?
Yep.
Safara has not been terribly effective. She's not in the lineup either.
She's playing back row. The front row right now for the Pirates is Sherman, McGee, and Permenter. Chiwa won the swing. One-arm dig by Safara is over. Second attack by Chiwa, though, is good for the kill.
It's obvious that Flagler has really come out firing here. And they have really jumped all over Armstrong here this second set. You wondered about, they played fairly well in the first set, but still couldn't manage to get over the top. A young team like Flagler is, lots of freshmen and sophomores, how would it affect them, especially in a championship match?
Valmir from the back row, that's dug by Safara. Push set outside to McGee, and that is a kill for Anna McGee. Perhaps she could be the outside to get going for the Pirates, though she will sub out now, and Kim Brody will check in to serve. But Flagler out-hitting the top hitting team in the Peach Belt Conference. 273 hitting percentage right now for the Saints. Armstrong hitting just 167. Morgan sets Sturgeon, and Sturgeon with the big kill, and one-on-one. Anytime you have a one-on-one matchup with an outside hitter, that's an advantage to the outside hitter, and Sturgeon had plenty of options where to put that ball.
Yeah, one blocker alone clearly can't, secure enough of the net to really affect. You're right, options galore, and she went cross-court on that one.
Tip by Safara is dug by Morgan. Bump set outside to Hooks, that's blocked. Played over by Flagler. And now Safara off the push set is good for the kill. That was a nice delay by Sherman because it looked like she was going to set that to the middle hitter. At the very last second, pushed it outside to where Safara had the one-on-one matchup. And really, I think that's the first time we've seen Safara hit a ball one-on-one since way early in the first set. Brittany Harris checks in to serve for the Pirates. Valmir with the attack, and she gets the kill.
Well, now we're starting to see Flagler really be more effective on the attack. Their number of kills is actually better as far as rate goes than it was in the first set.
But Flagler now starting to do what Armstrong did to Flagler in the first set, not allowing Armstrong to string together points on its own serve. They're siding out very efficiently right now. And that is over the net on Flagler. Again, Cameron Sherman is in the front row, so Stara Davis went over the net to try and stop that, what she thought was going to be an attack. And so the Pirates pick up the point, and Sherman now goes to the back row to serve. And now Wiley's back into the front row. Bump set goes outside to Valmir. And a double contact called on Cameron Sherman for the first time she's been called for the ball handling error.
Yeah, that ball was just too far behind her there. She tries going to go a back set to Wiley on that one, but again, she's got under it a little too much.
Sherman from the 10-foot line sets Wiley, and her tip is blocked by Valmir. And it's all Flagler right now here in the second set.
A bit of a bad set that time by Cameron Sherman. You don't say that too often about our setter of the year, but Wiley, really nothing more she could do with that one other than push it across, and Valmir ate her up.
Wiley then hits it out. And a timeout taken by Armstrong as Flagler has built a 6-point lead here in the set number 2, 13-7 here from the arc. Chad Jackson, Ken Gerlander back with you here at the Aquatics and Recreation Center. Armstrong took set number 1, 25-20. Flagler leads set number 2, 13-7.
Yeah, Coach Will Condon that time not liking what he was saying. Wanted to try and inject a little life here into his Pirates. Maybe just trying to get them to execute a little bit better.
Well, the passing has not been as crisp for the Pirates here in set 2 as it has been in set 1. And so out of the timeout, Thompson's attack is dug. Back row attack for Ledner Rodriguez is dug by Sherman. And then Safara's attack is dug by Ledner Rodriguez. Valmir with a swing and a big block. And that is just the second block for the Pirates. And that's something that Armstrong can turn to try and get back into this set, is if they can get a couple of those.
That's the one aspect of Armstrong's defense that really hasn't been there today, the blocking. They had a very good blocking game yesterday against Montevallo, but today they just have not been able to get any points off of it.
Morgan sets Valmir, and Valmir through the double block gets the kill this time.
Yeah, good job by Valmir recognizing and seeing it and playing it off the hand, off the deflection.
But again, the Pirates not able to get any points on their serve. Valmir serves for Flagler. Sherman sets the slide for Wiley, and it's blocked out of bounds by Sturgeon. Emily Wiley gets the kill.
Yeah, Janelle Sturgeon going one-on-one with Wiley that time. And actually, Sturgeon had the position because she got the block, but it just went off her hands out of bounds.
Bump set coming from Morgan to Sturgeon. It's blocked but kept alive. Played over on a free ball. Not the best pass. And McGee hits it, and we're going to get a blocking error on Flagler, and that will give McGee the kill. So the Pirates catch a break there because that hit was well long. But that's what they say. That's why they call blocking errors, because it's possible that that affected how an attacker hits the ball. If they do see that net, tip from Sturgeon, dug by Wiley, and then double contact and a miscommunication there between Wiley and Sherman on what exact attack to run.
Yeah, I see Sherman just talking to herself. She's a little frustrated with her performance right there. Again, because I think it was a little bit of indecisiveness on her part, whether to go back set to Wiley or send it across.
Chiwa then comes right back with the big kill, and it's all working for the Saints right now. 16-10. Flagler leads.
And they've been able to kind of maintain this cushion. Really, they got off to a 4-0 start, and really since then it's been 4 to 6 point cushion the entire set.
We had an improper substitution on Flagler. That's just a warning. It's nothing, just a procedural thing. I think they're just too quick to get into the match. And Sarah Davis will serve for the Saints. Morgan sets high for McGee, and McGee hits it off the block for the kill. A lot of times you see that, Ken, when the setter's in the front row, they attack the setter blocking, and that's exactly what they've done to McGee here. McGee on that left side has gotten a couple of kills now with Morgan blocking. 16-11. Kayla Burns serving. Morgan will set Chiwa. That's dug by Safara. McGee again with the attack. That's dug by Kovac off the court. Valmir from the back row, dug by Safara. And then Permenter's attack is blocked. And Ashley Chiwa with the big block, and 5 team blocks now for the Saints.
And by Chiwa, especially impressive, one-on-one that time. And Flagler just can't lose their concentration here. I remember they got called for a rotation error yesterday in the semifinal. They've already had a substitution warning, so they just need to maintain their calm here a little bit.
Overpass attacked by Permenter. Taylor Permenter notches the kill. 17-12, Flagler leads. Kim Brody into the match to serve. But again, Flagler content to side out right now.
Oh, yeah.
They have the advantage.
They'll do that all day.
Chiwa's attack is dug by Burns, but it's into the net, and another side out for Flagler.
Taking into the game and serving for Flagler, number 1, Ashley Rodriguez.
Ledner Rodriguez to serve. Pirates having to wipe up a little bit of sweat off the floor. Permenter on the slide gets the kill.
Point Armstrong.
Brittany Harris checks back in to serve.
Taking from Armstrong, now serving number 18.
Here's the key, though. Can Armstrong string some things together? Flagler's only 7 points away here, so the Pirates really need to find a way to maintain serve.
Hook's attack is dug by Kayla Burns. Safara is blocked by Chiwa and Hooks.
Yeah, Flagler's had an outstanding defensive set at net so far. The amount of blocks they've been able to come up with has really enabled them to maintain this 6-point cushion.
By my count, Armstrong has had just 1 point this entire set on its own serve. Sherman sets the middle. Permenter's attack, and Kovac took it away from Ledner Rodriguez.
Yeah, Kovac actually made a mistake that time, and she should have, honestly, as a libero, you need to kind of know where everybody is on the court. And she should have known that Rodriguez was right behind her and in perfect position for that.
And Hooks hits it down the line for the kill.
Point, Flagler.
Very efficient for the 7th-seeded Flagler Saints, trying to even this match up at 1 set apiece. And a kill for Sarah Davis that hits the microphone over the PA by the PA announcer. And Flagler looks like it is going to even this match up at 1 set apiece.
And honestly, they've really been in command of this set from the get-go.
Yep.
Armstrong has never been able to mount any kind of sustained attack. And down by 7 here, if Flagler only needs 4 more points, it's really kind of a mirror image of the first set in a way.
Hooks with the serve. Sherman sets the middle, and Rachel Thompson gets the big kill. And now, if you're the Pirates, you got to start to think about building momentum for the next set and really recapture the momentum that they had in this match.
Yeah, that's right.
This feels like, Ken, one of those 2009, 2010 matches. This is not, again, what we thought, or a lot of people might have thought, coming into this match right now. And a double contact called on Morgan. Just the 2nd point for Armstrong on its serve in this set. And it's 21-16. Still, though, a big cushion for Flagler here in this set.
Yeah, but Flagler can't start celebrating yet. They haven't won anything until he gets to 25.
It's an overpass. Thompson's attack is dug. It's another overpass. And then double contact called on Flagler, which will give the Pirates the point.
That was bad for Flagler from the get-go.
Yeah.
From the initial reception on the serve, things just went downhill.
Morgan from the 10-foot line sets Valmir. Her tip is dug by Sherman. Bumps it outside to Wiley, and it's not a great set. Again, because Cameron Sherman had to dig that ball, you had to rely on the libero to bump set. And so the bad set gives Flagler the point, 22-17. Sherman sets the middle. Thompson's attack is dug by Morgan. And then down the line, Janelle Sturgeon didn't have a lot of room to put that ball, but put it in the right spot.
Yeah, she had to thread the needle on that one, but she did it very, very well. We haven't seen them go down the line a lot. They've been mostly relying on their cross-court attacks.
So Flagler 2 points away from putting this set in the books. Wiley with the swing, kept alive, played over, and that's going to be a kill for Davis.
Yeah, Davis did a good job. Wiley was right there, would have stuffed anything that came right at her. So Davis actually pushed it over to her right and found an empty spot there.
Sherman sets Wiley, and for the first time, the Pirates get a good set to feed Emily Wiley in this rotation, and she puts it away.
Yeah, we haven't called her name a whole lot here in this second set. And you're right, it's been a pretty poor passing set for the Pirates so far. It's something they just got to leave behind them if they go into when we go into the third.
Morgan Hill to serve. Flagler set point number 1. Sturgeon attack, dug by McGee. Wiley with a swing, that's dug. It's on the Flagler side of the net. And 4-19. Morgan sets the slide. Davis is dug by Sherman. Now, McGee cannot cut it, that tough angle. She was off the court by the net support, and that will give the second set to Flagler. So we head to the third set all tied at 25, at 1 set apiece. Flagler wins set number 2, 25-19. Chad Jackson, Ken Gerlinger back with you here at the Quaxon Recreation Center. We head to set number 3, one set apiece for Flagler College and Armstrong State University. And in set number 2, Flagler hit 382, 15 kills, only 2 errors. And we talked about it during the set, the side out percentage, 78%, 15 of 19, only 4 points for Armstrong on their serve in that set, and 3 of those were late.
Yeah, going from a 63% to 78. Again, in set 1, Armstrong 9 points on serve. Set 2, only 4. So that really is an indication. Also the blocking numbers. Flagler had 2 blocks in set number 1, 4 in set number 2.
And Taja Valmir has 8 kills for Flagler. Megan Hook, Sarah Davis, Janelle Sturgeon, Ashley Chiwa, all with 4. It's a very balanced effort, basically exactly like the Pirates had last night against Montevallo. Very balanced scoring. And Flagler, remember, last night had 5 players with double-digit kills, and looks like they're well on their way to that now.
Exactly. And for Armstrong, Emily Wiley, again, continues to lead. Her hitting percentage is one for the record books, really, at 500. 9 kills and 16 swings, only the 1 error. Anna McGee also having a heck of a match, 6 kills with only the 1 error.
But Stephanie Safar, really the story right now. It's a mirror image of last night's contest against Montevallo. 3 kills, 6 errors, and negative 158 hitting percentage. So Armstrong will serve to begin set number 3. Sherman, by the way, 24 assists for the Pirates. Morgan with 19. And we are underway here in set number 3 as Sarah Davis gets the side out right off the bat.
Yeah, that's 5 kills now for Davis. That's second most on the team behind Valmir. You talk about the assist. And Amelia Morgan, of course, with the 65 she had in 4 sets yesterday. The pace for her not quite there, only about 8 assists per set so far, 8
Well,
and a half.
again, a lot of that is not only the fact that she's had to dig some balls, but it's the blocking. As we get another solo block there for Sarah Davis. When you get blocks, you're not getting kills and you're not getting assists, but the Flagler blocking has come to play today in this Peach Bowl Conference Tournament Championship match, and Flagler leads set number 3, 2-0. And then Davis, that might have been long, but it's played. Tipped by Wiley, but dug by Valmir. Valmir attack dug by Hill. Push set outside, and that's going to be a double contact called on Cameron Sherman, and head coach Will Condon immediately arguing that the set that immediately preceded it by Morgan should have been called for a double. But here's a quick 3-0 lead for Flagler. We saw him with that quick 4-0 lead in set number 2. Safara will get the kill as it's off the block out of bounds.
They're going to need her to generate some offense. She's had a pretty abysmal first couple of sets here. But if there's anybody, we saw it yesterday, she really wasn't in the zone in the first couple of sets, but the last 2 were, or the last one especially, was a classic. So she has the ability to really rise up and become the player that can lead Armstrong back.
Valmir's attack is blocked. Davis, though, comes back and gets the kill, and Sarah Davis, who has been quiet through the first 2 sets, hitting just .091, comes up with 2 big kills, and Flagler leads it 4-1. And then a service. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to call it.
That was a kerfuffle, start to finish.
And head coach Will Condon wants a quick timeout, as that one looked like it was going out of bounds for either team at one point. And head coach Will Condon still upset with the non-call on the double contact, and he's going to have to calm down and really calm down his team, because Flagler, this is exactly what we saw from them yesterday against Lander. Lost the first set, tight first set, came out on fire in the second set, and really able to carry that momentum through to the championship.
That's exactly right. For Flagler, this script is playing out exactly the way you want. And just like set number 2, they jump out to a big lead. I think a nearly identical lead. I think it was 4-1 in the second set. Now it's 5-1 here in the third. And unfortunately for Armstrong, that thought has to start creeping in. If we lose this, then all hope of hosting that NCAA regional is gone. And I think that pressure might actually start to build in just a little bit. I mean, it's kind of an outside shot anyway, the way Wingett's playing, but you can't lose this.
Well, and I understand, and I have to do my due diligence here. Historically, Flagler 3-1 in Peach Bowl Conference Tournament Championship games, Armstrong 4-10. Now, I understand a lot of those results these players have no idea about those results, but it is what it is. I mean, it is. As Flagler out of the timeout gets the service ace from Valmir, and it's 6-1 Saints here in the third set. Another bad pass goes over the net. Sturgeon, though, is blocked by the Pirates. It's still alive. Davis's attack is going to be a kill as there's a blocking error on the Pirates, and Flagler leads it 7-1.
Yeah, I'm straining to see if there are any Saints on the current roster who are a part of their last team that played in the finals in 2012, and I don't think there are, so this is, all new to them.
Armstrong. Now serving for Armstrong, number 11.
And an error that time, a kind of a giveaway, ends Flagler's run, but they still lead it here 7-2. Coming back for Armstrong to serve Morgan Hill. Davis off the net, can't keep it alive. Point.
That wasn't, Morgan had someone in her way. She couldn't get underneath that ball to set it properly to Davis. Davis was off the net when she hit that, and so that is a point for the Pirates. 7-3.
Now here's
Morgan.
the key. Can they win another one on their serve? And yes, they can. Nice serve that time by Morgan Hill.
And a service ace for Morgan Hill. Fourth service ace of the match. Pirates had 3 in the first set, had none in the second set.
That's right.
Hill again with a serve, better pass this time. And a double contact called on Amelia Morgan. So it's 7-5 now.
And I think you got to give that one to Will Condon right there. That's a Will Condon point.
Very short serve. Sturgeon, big swing though, and she goes through the double block for the kill.
Now serving for Flagler College, number 7, Sarah Davis.
So Sarah Davis goes back to serve. Sherman push set across to McGee, and McGee again one-on-one on the outside with Morgan as the blocker, and an easy conversion for McGee.
Yeah, if you're a Flagler, that is obviously not the matchup. You can't leave Morgan, even though she's on the front row rotation, you can't leave her out there by herself.
When these two teams met in October 3rd, this was in Flagler. This was essentially the lineup run by Flagler, as that tip will be dug by Burns, and then Permenter's attack is going to be a kill. But you look at the numbers, Ken, in that match, you had Sarah Davis 9 kills, hitting .227. Taja Valmir hit negative, and the Pirates, not a lot of digs, not a lot of blocks. This is a much, much different team for Flagler just over the last month and a half.
Yeah, they've really come into their own. We talk about their youth. It's really kind of astounding when you think about how many freshmen and sophomores Coach Matt Affolter has got on his roster and has to rely on in key situations.
Big kill for Anna McGee, and the Pirates come all the way back from this early deficit, ties things up at 8. And again, it's like we talked about, it's finding another option. Anna McGee on the left side right now has started to take advantage of that matchup against Amelia Morgan. 8-8 here in set number 3.
Yeah, it was 7-2, so a 6-1 run here for the Pirates.
Morgan sets high outside for Sturgeon, and Sturgeon right back gets the kill.
Yeah, she's been the answer for Flagler in this third set.
And the same thing, they're attacking Cameron Sherman on the block on the left side is Flagler, and Sturgeon's been able to get a couple of kills.
But now Morgan rotates back as she serves.
Sherman sets McGee, and that's blocked but kept alive. Pump set outside to Permenter, and Taylor Permenter will get the kill. Kim Brody will serve for Armstrong.
I feel like these teams are playing about level right now. It's a kind of a slugfest back and forth, 1-1.
Morgan sets Sturgeon, and again Sturgeon, this time going to the right side, gets the kill. Janelle Sturgeon.
Yeah, she's definitely got the hot hand right now. That's 3 kills in the last 4 points for Flagler.
And she now has 7 in this match. Flagler leads it by 1, 10-9. Ashley Lecledner Rodriguez with a serve, and a miscommunication again. Brody got out of the way of the ball. And that service ace, just the second of the match for the Saints, makes it 11-9. And another service ace. And now head coach Wilconnen changing up his serve receive. He's going to go to pull Brody out of serve receive, and it's going to be Burns with it. Bump set from Sherman. And Stephanie Safara with the big kill. She was off the net and off the court and still able to get enough on it to get the kill.
And number 1, Rachel Thompson.
So 12-10. Here in set number 3, Brittany Harris serving for the Pirates. Very deep serve. It's long.
Point, Flagler.
And that's one thing we really haven't seen so far in this set are the silly errors. When I talk about a slugfest, it's because they're really both executing very well.
13-10, and Flagler's had 2 service aces and a service error by Armstrong in the last 5 points. So, I mean, that is the difference right now in this set as Rachel Thompson hits it down in for the kill. Emily Wiley checks back into the front row for the Pirates as Cameron Sherman goes back to serve. Bump set from Morgan to Hooks. Her attack is dug by Brody. Wiley one-on-one, and again, Wiley is going to win that battle all day long. I don't care how good of a blocker you are.
And Cameron Sherman did a great job of making sure Wiley had one-on-one. It looked like she was going to go front side. Instead, she goes back behind her at the last second. Wiley on the slide comes around with the right arm, and you're right, nearly unstoppable.
Morgan from behind the 10-foot line sets Valmir. It's blocked but kept alive by Flagler. Bump set to Hooks now, and Hooks' attack is dug by Hill. Safara's attack dug by Kovac. And then set over, and they're going to call double contact on Morgan. And that was a situation where Morgan would have been better off setting that. She did not need to try that.
No, and it was kind of really obvious the way she arched her hands on the set that it was a double contact.
Morgan sets Valmir, and Valmir goes wide. She was staring at a double block of Wiley and Thompson. Tried to go to the left. There was just not enough room for her to make that attack, and Armstrong has the lead now in set number 3, 14-13. Hooks from well off the net, still gets the kill though.
Yeah, I don't know how she did that. The blockers were there for Armstrong. Rachel Thompson and Stephanie Safara were in possession, but just that gap between the arms.
So we're tied at 14. I want to say yesterday in the semifinal we were tied at 15 in the third set between Flagler and Lander.
I think you're right.
Safara hits it long, and Flagler takes the 1-point lead, 15-14. Back and forth we go here in the third set.
Yeah, after Armstrong pretty much held way in the first set, Flagler did the same in the second set. Now which way does the scale balance?
Sherman sets the middle, and Thompson is blocked. It's still alive, though. Wiley with a swing, dug by Kovac. Tip by Davis will be dug by Hill, and that's going to be a double contact. Sherman had to run a long way to get to that ball. Probably would have been better off just bumping it, but instead tried to use her hands. When you're running away from the net and you need to set that ball back towards the net, that is a very, very tough set to make. Sherman sets the slide. Wiley's attack will be dug by Lecledner Rodriguez. Valmir then hits it well long, and they call a touch on the Pirate blockers. And head coach Will Condon wants a timeout. 17-14. Flagler with the lead here in set number 3.
Coach Condon had a word for their up official. We talk about players in the net for Flagler. I didn't see anything like that, but again, I really don't know what to look for when it comes to that kind of stuff, so I'm not going to.
Well, both setters have been called for hands a few times in this set. A lot of times in matches you see a lot of those calls made in the first set just to kind of, tell the players this is the way I'm going to call it. But then as the match goes on, it goes away from that. But credit our up official today. It's been pretty consistent. Other than the one sequence where it looked like, it was right after another. Right. It looks like it's been pretty consistent on both sides from our up official, Suzanne Dodd. So out of the timeout, Flagler has scored 3 straight points. It was 14-14. It's now 17-14. And Davis with the serve. Wiley with a swing and a kill. The whole Flagler bench thought that was going wide, but it was that downward angle of Wiley.
And we usually don't see Wiley being that effective from the left side of the court. Yep. She actually was really effective going from her left to right.
So the Pirates get the side out after the timeout. Morgan sets Valmir, and Valmir gets the kill. And again, it looked like Wiley was in proper position for that block, but Valmir with the power gets the kill, and it's 18-15. Valmir now is our first player in double-digit kills with 10. Kovac on the dig of Thompson's attack, and then a kill for Sturgeon. And Flagler looks like it is on its way to taking a 2-1 lead over the top-seeded Pirates.
They were tied at 14, I believe it was, and there was a timeout, and coming out of that timeout, Flagler has really turned it on, and you're almost to the point now, if you're Armstrong, you got to working on your serve, holding serve.
Yep.
It's just been a key thing that they have not been able to do at all today. So I believe one more point, and it might be too much to overcome if you're Armstrong. So this might be one of the key points of the set right here.
Sherman sets Wiley, and Wiley will get the kill. And again, anytime the Pirates have needed to kill, Emily Wiley has delivered. 12 kills in this set, or in this match, excuse me, not this set.
That would be impressive.
Anna McGee with 8 for Flagler, Valmir with 10, Davis with 8, Sturgeon with 8. And another kill for Sturgeon. And Flagler hitting with very, very good efficiency. Pretty much all match long, but now in the latter stages of these sets, you see what they need to do. They understand they just need to side out to win this set. McGee off the block, that's dug by Peony. Sturgeon with a swing, that's dug by Stephanie Safara. Wiley with a swing, dug by Valmir. Bump set outside to Sturgeon, and her attack will be dug. And then McGee gets the kill. So Pirates not going away. It's 20-17. Kayla Burns enters the match to serve. But at some point, Armstrong's going to have to get points on its serve to wipe away this deficit. Burns with the serve. Morgan sets Chiwa, and Chiwa hits it into the net. I don't think it got blocked. I think she hit it into the net.
It never got above the level of the net. Chiwa was either too late or Morgan just didn't put enough loft on that set to allow Chiwa to get there.
Burns with the deep serve. Morgan will set Chiwa, and Chiwa's tip is kept alive. Played over by Burns. Morgan sets high outside for Sturgeon. That's dug by McGee, but it's an overpass. Sturgeon's attack dug by Hill. Chiwa's attack is good for the kill. And that's a big turning point right there, as twice it looked like the Pirates could have had a point. Flagler came in, stayed with it, and they now go up by 3, where it would have been just a 1-point set.
Yeah, that's right. You got to look back at that one as, again, like you said, a real key turning point.
And this time Cameron Sherman decides to take things in her own hands. Her attack finds the deep corner. Valmir can't get to it in time. It's 21-19. Kim Brody to serve for the Pirates. And then she serves it wide. That's 2 service aces, and for Flagler, 2 service errors by the Pirates in a 3-point set.
Yeah, when you start breaking down a set like that, and seeing how all these little errors add up, it really comes to fruition.
Taylor Parmenter with the slide gets the kill. 22-20. And Brittany Harris will check in to serve. Morgan sets hooks, and she splits the block and gets the kill.
Yeah, great job by Hooks that time, threading the needle.
Now serving for Flagler, number 3, Caitlin Kova.
Sherman sets the middle, and Thompson will get the kill to make it 23-21. But it's all hitting right now. It's all just one pass, one set, one kill for each team right now.
Yeah, back and forth, back and forth. But the margin for Flagler in this situation is razor thin. They cannot make a mistake right here. They've got to side out.
Valmir hits it wide, and that's a big mistake for Valmir. She had plenty of space, it looked like. Instead, she went down the line. She could have gone cross court, I think, been fine. But we've got a timeout for Flagler as it is a 1-point set, 23-22.
Yeah, all credit to Armstrong here. It looked like they might be down and out in this third set, but especially they were down, I think it was 2017 or 2016.
20-16, it was the score.
Yeah,
so Armstrong.
And for them to come back like this,
yep.
That's
well, and I think you're seeing a team that has experience. That's what teams that have experience have been in these situations before, whereas Flagler really only the last couple of weeks has been in this situation, for most of the year.
Well, it's also about closing the door.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of matches, I have a lot of sets where somebody gets to the end but just can't finish. And again, that's a experience factor,
yep.
and a maturity factor right there. So for Flagler to be this close to the end but unable to cross that line, and what happens is as the other opponent gets closer, the pressure mounts, and for younger players, it can be overwhelming at times. So Flagler and Coach Affolter he's got to calm his team down and remind him to do what they've been doing, and they'll be fine. But if they let it get into their head a little bit, it's more psychological than anything right now.
So 23-22, Flagler leads, but Armstrong serving. And a mistake there by the Saints as Kovac with the initial pass, nobody reacted when it looked like Morgan would not be able to get there in time. And someone usually has to step up at that point when they recognize that setter's not going to get to the ball in time. They have to step up and make that pass and just at least get the ball over the net.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. Yeah, you're right. Somebody's got to take it upon themselves to act in that situation.
Sherman with the serve. And a ball handling error on Morgan will give Armstrong set point. And a timeout taken by Flagler. And the Aquatics and Recreation Center crowd has come alive as Armstrong has come back here in set number 3. down 20-16, now leads 24-23, and the Pirates will have a set point. And I will say this, it's as someone from the Peach Belt Conference, this is exactly what you were hoping for in a match of number 1 seed versus number 7 seed.
What you don't want to see in your championship match is a complete blowout.
Right.
Obviously, so to have a very competitive, very entertaining match in front of us right here is perfect for us. I love it that the crowd is into it. I hope the fans at home are enjoying it as much as we are right now, because this is quite an atmosphere and quite a match. Again, throw those seeds out. It really is not a 1 versus 7 matchup right here. Flagler, I think, if anything, has proven in their first 2 matches of this tournament, going to Aiken and winning there, beating Lander yesterday, that the 7 seed is really the product of the early season work, where they were really discovering who they were as a team and having to deal with injuries and all the rest. But now it's all come together, and they are definitely capable of competing with the elite in the Peach Belt Conference right now.
So out of the timeout, Cameron Sherman serves set point. Hooks with the attack, and it's blocked, but it's still alive. Tipped by Davis, and then it's blocked out of bounds. Stephanie Safara comes up with the kill, and the Pirates take set number 3, 25-23.
Well, I think both you and I might have counted Armstrong out when it was 20-16, but...
Well, now we're going to see what Flagler is made of, because a young team that was ahead for most of the set loses a lead late. They can react one of 2 ways. They can crumple, or they can do exactly what they did in set number 2 and come out and get that early lead and ride it. So we will see what happens in just 2.5 minutes here in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament Championship match. Chad Jackson, Ken Gerlinger back with you here at the Quaxon Recreation Center. A fantastic Peach Belt Conference Championship match. Armstrong takes set 3 in breathtaking fashion. 25-23. Armstrong hit 480 in that set, but Flagler hit just 216, and yet Armstrong had to come from behind because of those errors, the service errors and the reception errors early on in the set.
Yeah, Armstrong up to 5 service errors overall. Same number for Flagler, but for Armstrong, really coming out a lot in that set. They only had 2 attack errors, but as you said, the number of kills was even for both teams, and both teams did a much better job of holding serve.
Yep.
Looking at our statistical leaders, first for Armstrong, Emily Wiley continues to roll right along, 12 kills, only 1 error and 23 swings, a 478 average. Didn't have many kills in that third set, but still for the match has been on top. The only Pirate in double figures, Rachel Thompson now with 9, and then we have Permenter and Safara with 6. Permenter still hitting in the negatives in this match.
Or
for
Safara,
Flagler, Safara, excuse me, for Flagler, Taja Valmir 10 kills, 4 errors, 27 attacks. That's a 222. She's the only Saint in double figures. She also has 9 digs. That leads the team.
Kovac serves for Flagler to begin set number 1. Wiley will tip it over, but she's into the net, and that's going to be the point for Flagler. And it wasn't the best pass to begin with from Anna McGee, who isn't usually someone they rely on in serve receive. It's usually this rotation, a 2-person serve receive. Pirates will attack it though. This time Wiley with a swing. That's dug by Lecledner Rodriguez. Valmir from well off the net. That's dug by Safara. Wiley a second swing, and this time she goes through the block of Davis for the kill.
Yeah, Emily Wiley, you know, when she gets her opportunities, she really makes the most of them. She's been the closest thing to a sure thing that the Pirates have had in this tournament.
So 1-1 Morgan Hill serving the libero for the Pirates. Bump set to Valmir, and Valmir, one-arm dig by Safara.
Wow.
It'll be played over by Hill. Morgan now will set it, and Davis gets the kill because Sherman was there, pulled her hands back at the last minute, but still got a deflection off of her and went out of bounds. So tough break there for the Pirates. Saints get the side out, it's 2-1. Hooks serving. Back row Safara with the attack, dug easily by Kovac. Valmir with a swing, dug by Safara, played over, no, it's going to be a double contact on Wiley, and that error will give Flagler the point.
Yeah, Armstrong was just never able to get control of their passing on that one, and Wiley, of course, not natural for her to try to underpalm the ball, and it was coming right at her face anyway. There's only so much you can do with it.
Bump set to Wiley, and again crossed up on the offense there. Tipped by Davis, will be dug by Wiley. McGee with a swing, that's dug by Lecledner Rodriguez. Valmir with the swing, dug by Safara. Overpass though, and Davis is right there to clean it up. And for the third straight set, Flagler jumps out to a 4-1 lead.
That's exactly, I was going to say the exact same thing. The third time in a row, the Saints have jumped out to an early lead. And all 3 times, well, the first 2 times, they were able to maintain that lead to the waning moments of the set.
Yep. Ball played over by the Pirates. Valmir off the bump serve, hits the antenna though. That was a sloppy point on both sides because the pass wasn't good from the Pirates, but then on a down ball, the initial contact wasn't good from the back row of Flagler. And so the error goes the way of the Pirates, and Armstrong gets the side out. But it's one of the very few points that we've seen like that, though, in this match, where both teams are making, errors on the same rally. Kayla Burns with the serve, the lefty. Good pass, and Davis is there, but big dig from Burns. And then a kill for McGee, and you see the height of McGee over the block, and neither of the defenders that were in position, I think, believed that that ball was going to get over the block and go down basically on the 10-foot line.
Yeah, and McGee didn't hit it hard at all.
No.
It was just a little tap.
But again, it's that angle of trajectory from a 6'4" outside hitter. And a attack this time by Morgan. And she gets the kill to earn the side out for Flagler. 5-3. The Saints lead it in set number 4. Armstrong leads 2-1. And Valmir to the back row to serve. Anna McGee with the kill on the set from Cameron Sherman. And McGee is now in double-digit kills. 10 kills for her, hitting 400 after really an off match last night for her. And so the Pirates now serve it. And a block for Taylor Parmenter. She decided not to attack that. She went straight up to block that ball, and Morgan tried just a haphazard trying to keep it alive. And we saw that before in the match where that happened, but Morgan was able to attack and get the kill.
Right.
Brody with the dig on the attack by Sturgeon. Safara, and it's blocked out of bounds, and Stephanie Safara gets the kill, and the Pirates take a 6-5 lead.
Yeah, what we saw from Flagler earlier on, their blocking has been phenomenal But it's here so far in set number 4. It's really kind of let them down just a little bit. It's not been that effective in stopping the Armstrong attack.
Deep serve from Brody, and that's set or passed off the court. Back row for Valmir. Dug by Brody. Nice set from Sherman, but it's blocked, and it's going to be played over safely by Safara. Flagler sets up the attack for Davis, and Davis gets the kill.
Point, Flagler.
And Flagler earns the side out. We're tied at 6. Sarah Davis to serve. Sherman plays it over and right in the deep corner. And Cameron Sherman's gotten 3 kills like that in this match. And it's amazing how uncanny you have to be. Your back is to the net. You're not seeing where you're putting the ball, and yet that was in by less than a foot.
In the corner, too, not on the line. It was in the back corner.
Brittany Harris to serve. Morgan will set Chiwa on the slide. A big block by the Pirates, but it's still alive. Sturgeon plays it over. That's dug by Brody. Push set to Safara, and Safara hits it long.
Yeah, she's just not had it today. Stephanie Safara been hitting in the negative numbers all match
I will
long.
say this, though, for Safara, her hitting stats have not been there. Her defense has been fine. She's made some great digs.
Yeah.
She's got 13 digs in the match. But Morgan with a very short serve. And then Thompson comes right back and gets the kill. Rachel Thompson's been relatively quiet. I say that. She now has 10 kills, but she hasn't strung them together in one rotation. It's been a kill here, a kill there for the Pirates. Sherman serving for Armstrong. Sturgeon with the attack and the kill. And so back and forth we go. We're tied at 8 here in set number 4.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird mirror image of our last set. Flagler jumps out to a lead, Armstrong matches it, then they go back and forth and back and forth.
And that is on the line, a service ace for Ledner Rodriguez. Just the 4th ace for Flagler in this match. Sherman sets the slide. It's blocked, but still alive. Wiley a second crack at it, this time to the right of the double block and straight down for the kill.
Again, nearly undefensible for that, and I believe that's 13 now for Wiley in the match. Who, let me just say, those are MVP kind of numbers.
You can say that, I can't. Safara with the serve for the Pirates. Morgan will set Valmir, and that's a good kill for Valmir again. Holding that set to the last moment, pushing it out to Valmir, who had a much better matchup against the Pirate blockers, and it's a side out for Flagler.
Now serving for Flagler, number 3, Caitlin Kovac.
So Flagler serving, up 10-9. Kovac to serve. Sherman will set the middle for Thompson, and she hits it wide. So the hitting errors that were not evident for the Pirates in the 3rd set starting to come back here in the 4th set. That's 3 in this set already, and Flagler leads by 2. Sherman sets Wiley, and Wiley down the line will get the big kill.
And it's just that angle that is so impossible to defend. I mean, that ball is hitting near the 10-foot line, which is, unheard of, really.
Hill with a short serve here. Morgan sets the middle, and Davis's attack is dug by Safara. And then McGee's attack hits the antenna, but the antenna was contacted by Flagler, not by the ball, the hit by McGee. So we're tied at 11. Unfortunately, it looks like our live stats have frozen.
Oh. Do you need to go take care of that?
I probably can't until a timeout, so
okay.
We will stay with you here. Tip by Hooks is going to be a kill, and that again is a scramble point that looked like Flagler had no business winning, but they come away with it and earn the side out.
So Flagler at serve again, leading by 1. And that one goes out, so another error on serve for the Saints. I believe that'll be up to 6 service errors here in the match, and that'll tie our score. But back and forth we go, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. Who's going to manage to string them together? Kayla Burns on serve for the Pirates here.
Morgan sets the slide. Safara digs the attack by Davis, and then McGee is blocked, but it's kept alive. Played over by Safara. Morgan sets Davis again. Dug by Burns, push set to McGee, and McGee will get the kill. And for the first time, the Pirates have a scramble point go their way.
Crowd on its feet here in the arc.
13-12, Armstrong leads set number 4. Kayla Burns continues to serve for the Pirates. Burns float serve. Morgan sets it to the back row like Ledner Rodriguez with the attack. Kept alive, played over on a free ball by Burns. Now Morgan will set high outside for Valmir, and her tip is good.
Yeah, good awareness by Valmir that time, seeing the hole, knowing that the blocker was being very aggressive and she was going to have to go over the top to have any shot at it. All tied up again.
Valmir to serve. Sherman to McGee, and that's blocked, and it lands out.
What is that noise?
And we got a little feedback on the microphone over at the official scores table. Pirates pick up the point, and it's 14-13.
Sounds like a Viking horn going off.
This isn't a Minnesota Vikings home game, right? Brody serving for the Pirates. Morgan sets high outside for Sturgeon, and that is a illegal lift or a shove called on Sturgeon, and it's because the set was too high and she had to hit it when she was on her way down on her approach. She had jumped later, she would have been able to hit that properly. Brody with a serve again. Morgan sets outside for Sturgeon, and that's a dig by Hill, played over by Sherman for the point. And the defense of the Pirates in this set has been exceptional. We've seen several big digs from Safara and from Hill, and the Pirates now have a 3-point lead.
Yeah, Armstrong is really trying to, Again, Armstrong are really coming on strong here. It's been a back and forth affair, but now Armstrong has managed to string together several points in a row on serve. Interesting music choice. And it's 16-13, and timeout called by Flagler. Again, I go back to the end of set number 3, where Flagler seemed to be in a position to put it away, but couldn't get it done. Chad posed the question at that time, is Flagler going to rise up, or are they going to crumble? Well, they definitely have not crumbled. The Saints are here in set number 4, giving it their all. However, Armstrong just refuses to be put away. So credit to the Pirates. And again, we hate to be a cliche, but that's what champions are made of. So the Pirates 9 points away from a championship here, but they only lead Flagler by 3.
So out of the timeout, 16-13, Armstrong leads, and Kim Brody serves for the Pirates. And that one goes long, so Flagler gets what it wants after calling a timeout. You get the side out. And now Sarah Davis will serve for the Saints. And a service ace for Sarah Davis, and just like that, Flagler earns 2 straight points to close the 16-15.
Yeah, just when it looked like Armstrong was in the position, if they had gotten a couple more, the gap would have been, something that Flagler would really have to be nervous about. However, a couple of quick points by the Saints, and we have is that a substitution?
No, just wiping up some sweat off the floor again.
So, but anyway, closing that gap now back to 1.
Davis with the serve again, another good serve. Sherman sets outside for Safara though, and Safara comes up with the kill.
Yeah, she hasn't had the best match in the world, but when their team needed a point, she's there to give it to them.
Well, we saw this in set 3 last night for Safara. I mean, she was unstoppable in that one set, and when really the match is on the line. Brittany Harris to serve. Morgan will set Sturgeon, and it's blocked. Kept alive, though, back row Valmir, and then she hits it into the net. And that's something that we haven't seen in this match that we saw yesterday. Valmir had those hitting errors from the back row. She's been good. She has not had an error-filled game like she had yesterday. Morgan plays it herself, and that's going to be a kill for Flagler and a side out for the Saints. 18-16. But now Morgan heads to the back row to serve for Flagler. Very short serve for Morgan. And played over again by Sherman. They had it red this time, though. Sturgeon with a swing. One-arm dig by Hill, and it's a free ball over. Now Hooks with this attack. That's dug by Hill. Safara with a swing and the kill. Another amazing dig by the co-libero of the year in the Peach Belt, Morgan Hill, to earn her team the point.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Again, the back row play by Armstrong is by far in this set the best it's been in the entire match, and has really given them this 3-point lead.
Morgan will set the slide, and that is just in for Chiwa. Chiwa hugs the end line for the kill and earns the side out. Ledner Rodriguez to serve. 19-17 in set number 4. Flagler trails by 2, trying to push it to a 5th set. Tip by Safara, easily played by Chiwa. Bump set. Hooks' tip is dug by Wiley. Safara with a swing and a kill. And this is what seniors are supposed to do in pressure situations.
Yeah, you let the failures of the earlier part go. You're able to overcome what happened even minutes ago. Forget your last shot, concentrate on the next one. Again, that's experience for you.
So Safara heads back to the back row to serve. Morgan from the 10-foot line sets Valmir, dug by Safara, and a double contact. And that's one that Sherman couldn't get away with. She tried to use her hands again perpendicular to net and back set it to Wiley.
Now serving for Flagler number 3, Caitlin Kovac.
Problem is she's in the back row. She could not attack that ball. Kovac with the serve. Sherman sets outside for McGee. That's dug by Ledner Rodriguez, but a double contact on Morgan will give the Pirates the point.
That ball has so much spin on it coming off of the dig that it was really nearly impossible for Morgan to control.
Morgan Hill to serve for the Pirates. And she serves it out.
Point, Flagler.
21-19. Hooks to serve. Sherman sets Wiley, and Wiley hits it out. Big error there because it brings Flagler to within 1. It's 20-19. Sherman sets outside for McGee, and McGee with the kill. Big push set. Both of the Pirate, Wiley and Thompson, ran to the right, and left McGee wide open on the left against essentially no block to get the kill.
And that's a threat of Emily Wiley, though. The way that Flagler is having to defend her.
Yep.
Leaves that other side wide open, and
Kayla Burns will serve it. Morgan sets Valmir. That's dug by Safara. Push set, and that's a double contact on Sherman, making it 22-21. And again, from the back row, setters always want to use their hands, but sometime in pressure situations, it's just better to bump it and keep the play alive. Valmir to serve. Sherman sets outside for McGee. That's dug by Kovac. Tip is good for the kill, and we're tied at 22.
Wow, give Flagler a lot of credit for sticking around right here. It would have been easy for them to just phone it in. Oh, well, we're number 7, we're playing number 1, but they've come back to tie it up.
The Pirates led by 3 late in this set, but Flagler has come all the way back. Sherman plays it herself. It's kept alive, played over. Sherman gets a hit on it. That's dug by Peony, but it's out of bounds.
Point, Pirates.
Again, a scramble point won by the Pirates, and it's 23-22.
Yeah, I mean, that just went bad for Flagler. You hate to give away a point on a rally like that.
And a timeout taken by Flagler.
Timeout, Flagler College.
23-22, Armstrong 2 points away from winning the Peach Belt Conference Tournament Championship, but Flagler only trails by 1. Armstrong, the top seed, leads number 7 seeded Flagler 2-1, 23-22 here in set number 4. Sophomore Kim Brody with the serve. Morgan from behind the 10-foot line sets outside, and Sturgeon gets the kill. Big set from Amelia Morgan to keep her team alive, as Sarah Davis will go back to serve for the Saints, the freshman of the year in the Peach Belt Conference. Sherman sets Safara. That's dug by Davis. And a double contact on Morgan will give the Pirates match point. And head coach Matt Affolder is displeased. So Brittany Harris will check in, and a yellow card has been issued to Matt Affolder. But it's really immaterial late in this set. This isn't soccer, this isn't a point situation. Brittany Harris will serve match point for the Pirates here at 23-24. Morgan sets high outside, and that's dug by Brody. Safara for the win, and the Pirates have taken the Peach Belt Conference Championship. Senior Stephanie Safara with the kill, and the Pirates win it 25-23 in set number 4. Fans, we invite you to stick around on our webcast. We're going to have the trophy presentation, the announcement of the all-tournament team, and we will also have post-match interviews with head coach Will Condon and one of the Pirate players. So please stick around here on Ustream for our post-match activities here on the Peach Belt Conference. That's what? Okay. Can you take photos with me on my iPad?
Ladies and gentlemen, this tournament please direct your attention to the north end of the arena for our presentation.
Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check, check.
Check, 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 check. Check, check.
And head coach Armstrong Volleyball.
The audio on?
This is the one that's longer. Shuttle the other one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Armstrong fans, thank you for coming out. Today's Peach Cup Conference Finals matchup. Please drive home safely. Congratulations to Flagler College and your Peach Cup Conference Volleyball champions, Armstrong State University Pirates.
Let's drag it. You want now? It's your birthday too. All right, I need you to do me a favor. Put this around your neck like I got this one. I know it's weird.
What am I saying?
I'm just gonna ask you some questions.
Okay.
You'll be all right.
I'm so bad at this. All right.
It's all right. It's the part of the season. All right, Ken Gerlinger. Ken Gerlinger here with Emily Wiley, the most valuable player of the Peach Belt Conference Volleyball Tournament. Emily, talk about the game you had today and the way your team played today.
We did amazing today. Yesterday, we just all came together. It was so much fun. It was just amazing. That's all I can really say. It was just amazing. I loved it. It was so fun.
Talk about the way you played. It seemed like you hardly made any mistakes at all. Every time you got the ball where you needed it, it was almost an automatic.
Well, I mean, my setter set me up really well. My passers, they passed to her well. We just all communicated and they talked to me. I was able to, use what they gave me and be able to put the ball away. So.
Today's your birthday. How was this for a birthday present?
It was amazing. It's an absolutely amazing day.
Congratulations,
Thank
and we'll see you in the
so
NCAA
much.
tournament next week.
Yes, thank
All right.
you.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can't get head coach Will Conn to go ahead and do that real
sorry.
quick. What? Got an automated recording the whole time, really. Hey, there he is. All right, we got to do this part again. All right, Ken Gerlinger, I'm here with head coach Will Conn of the victorious Pirates. And coach, I don't know if people looked at a 1 seed versus a 7 seed, they would have anticipated a match as close as that one.
Well, I think anytime it's us against Flagler, you can pretty much throw the seeds out. That's pretty much irrelevant, and you know it's going to be a hard-fought battle. And this match for us and them, and it's been a really good match for the last few years. So, they played really well, and we were able just to squeak by and score a couple points when we needed to, and that was the difference. So,
Talk about that third set. You were down, I believe it was 21 or 20 to 16. It looked like Flagler might actually jump out to that 2-1 lead, but your team really came together, rallied, and got that win.
yeah, we've been fortunate. We have a team that's really good at grinding and just grinding out points, and we have servers that can go on runs and score points. So as long as we believe and as long as we keep fighting, that we can go on that run anytime. So we just, Flagler was doing a good job of just siding out and siding out and siding out. And at the end, we were fortunate to get a couple runs together, and it's a difference.
How does this set you up going forward into the NCAA tournament?
We always feel like this tournament helps prepare us really well for that because the intensity of the matches and the preparation, the one day at a time, the one match at a time thing. So I think a match like this only makes us better for next weekend.
All right, Coach, we can't wait to see it. Congratulations once again, Peach Belt Conference Tournament champions for 2014, Coach Will Condon and the Armstrong Pirates. Well, for everybody here at the Arc, I'm Ken Gerlinger. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you much. Appreciate it.